Welcome back to Fairfax Pilates. I'm Brittany, and today's workout is going to be all about the back, both stretching and strengthening, and lots of buns. So get yourselves ready to go, and let's begin. All right, everybody, so we are going to be using two bands today. This is a WOD band. I'll put the link below, and this one is Simply Fit, Extra Strength. You have lots of options to choose from. I'll put links for both of these in the description, but choose what you want. Let's begin seated, and we're going to just do a little back warm-up. So pull the arms wide, right and left, until the band comes straight to the chest. You can sit with your knees bent comfortably, or if it's more comfortable, you can sit in a crisscross position, up on a block, whatever you need. You can even begin standing. And we're just going to get the back muscles warming up. So you're going to just directly pull the arms side and get the band right up to the chest. That's when you know you're at the maximum range. And then once we do about 8 to 10 of these repetitions, we're going to begin adding a little bit of a rotation. So for more comfort, I'm going to change my legs here, and I'm actively pulling a little stronger on the side where I'm twisting toward here. All right, so you keep 1/10 in front, try to keep the spine nice and tall, and you're just getting some rotation from tail all the way to the cervical spine. Nice rhythmic breath here, and now let's do a little bit of a low back mobilization. So you're actively tucking the tail under, and then we were returning up to that neutral posture. So many people have a lot of flatness here in the lumbar spine from too much sitting or perhaps injury. So really work on mobilizing the pelvis over those femurs. You want to begin with that imprint. It's like you're lengthening the space there of those hip flexors. I always imagine that I'm trying to take my torso away from my thighs, so create that space. Okay, and then from here, let's go ahead and take it all the way back down to the ground, and we're going to do a little bit of stretching. So we're going to draw one knee in, and then let it just go across the body. So always important before you start to add strength to your back exercises that you want to do some mobilization so that you feel stretched, and then the muscles can train better. That is one of my sweet kitty cats. They love to jump into our videos. All right, so we're going to put the band around one of the feet and then lie down on your back. Just do some active hamstring and calves. So we're going to point the toes, and then we're going to flex. So as we plant our flex there, you'll feel the stretch across the front of the foot and the ankle. And then as we dorsiflex down to the back of the leg. Now with dorsiflexion, the leg travels wide. I tend to open my leg as wide as my elbow can rest on the mat, and by using the band we really allow the leg to relax, which increases more of a stretch. And then just add that pointing and flexing. You can even take it just across the body there a bit, trying to keep the opposite hip down. Okay, whatever you need here, but the band is really a nice assistant because it truly allows you to just get a break as you're allowing everything to stretch. Obviously, we will do that on both feet. All right, so beginning with that leg as straight as possible, and then we're going to do that pointing and flexing at the ankle. So just the rest of the body is relaxed and tension-free. Okay, and then as you say wide here, notice that I just take it out until my elbow is able to rest on the ground, the side that holds the band there. However, that's comfortable, just so you get that stretch here. And as you point and flex the ankle, it'll change the inner thigh stretch, so don't skimp on that. All right, so from here, we're going to just place the band down, and let's just do a little bit of back massaging here, just gentle side to side rocking, and then we're going to go backward and forward here for some sort of rolling like a ball preps, but really the intent is just to roll over that lumbar area. Make sure that you are getting that flexion. You want to watch for any flat spots there. Okay, and then once we're seated nice and tall, stretch backward, like someone's grabbed the belt from behind and is pulling you backward, and then you can lengthen forward. So we have this opposing stretch between our low back and then as our arms reach forward. For next, we're going to be prone. Let's just stretch the band perpendicular to your mat and lay on your belly. You're going to get into a position where the arms are going to hold the band about the width of the mat and the arms are straight forward. Laterally rotate the legs, anchor the pelvis to the ground. As we draw the arms to the sides, we're actively lifting up the upper thoracic spine so that as we draw the arms side, our band comes right to the chest. And we are getting all the posterior chain going here, but in particular the upper thoracic area. You inhale as you draw the arms wide, lifting the chest slightly, and then exhale as you reach forward, making sure that you're not looking forward. Let's keep the back of the neck long. So we're going to do about 8 to 10 of those, and then I'm going to anchor my right hand, and then I'm lifting and then laterally flexing as I draw the arm toward the hip. Pull back on the inhale and then exhale to return. Same here in terms of keeping the entire pants down, your pelvis and your legs are connected to the ground. Pull and then reset. Pull and reset. All right, so once we do our 8 or so here, we're changing sides. So we're just leaving one arm holding the band connected to the floor, and then the opposite arm is lifting, and then there's a very subtle lateral flexion through the trunk of the body, but you are getting the movement of the shoulder as well. Surprisingly more difficult than it seems. I have my band doubled up, so I've got quite a bit of resistance here. You choose the much resistance as you need. You can also do this without a band, and I promise that still works. Windshield wiper those legs side to side here. And then we're just going to press right up. Keeping the knees bent for that swan gives you a larger stretch. And then transfer right into that quadruped position for a little bit of a spine stretch. All right, so I'm just tucking my shirt in real quick. And then we are going to take the band and actually loop it around the right foot. And I'll hold the band with my right arm. So you want to have the arm and the foot on the same side. And then just drive the leg straight back, as if you're closing a heavy door with your heel. So we are driving back, a lot of strength and effort from the glute. Exhale back, and then inhale, return. Actively press with the dorsiflexed foot, and then let's go wide and center. The challenge is now in keeping the back neutral as your leg travels side and center. You've got the resistance on the band, really drawing actually from the shoulder, holding that down. You've got some arm resistance here, and then of course everything in the posterior chain. Now give the band to the opposite hand. So I've still got it on my right foot, and now I've got the band on my left hand. So I'm going to send my leg out towards a diagonal, so like a 45. Still neutral in the sense of the knee and the toe point directly down, but we are angling the leg wider than the mat as you press away. Exhale, drive, inhale, return. And the band may sort of move around a little bit, no worries there. And then we are obviously going to make that change, and we're going to put that band on the other foot. More complicated. I'm making it more complicated than needed. All right, left foot, left hand, and we're going to be back in that quadruped position here. Try to wrap the band around the hand so you feel like it just really, you anchor it with your body weight rather than your hand grip. All right, so here we go. We're going to bend knee to knee, and then we're driving the foot back, directly backward. Try to keep your back steady and stable. There's no arching. We're simply moving the leg, whatever the leg can do in that hip joint. We are not facilitating mobility in the back. Side and center here, that abduction at the hip joint, trying to keep your back fairly stable. There's a slight lateral flexion there, but for the most part, keep it nice and still. All right, the band must be on the inside of the knee when you switch it over and hold it with the opposite hand. So now I've got it right hand, left leg, and we're hitting that angle, bending in and exhale, driving out. So as you're in this 4-point position, make sure that you are strong through the shoulder girdle. You want to be driving the hands into the ground and lifting the chest up so your shoulder blades remain flat across the back. Try not to let those shoulder blades pinch together. Give yourself a little curvature of the back there just to recover. Any of that gets a little well-deserved break. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take it all the way down around the feet now. Still got my band doubled up. All right, so we're gonna curl the tail under, mobilize the lumbar spine like we did at the beginning, and now we're gonna just do some low rows. If you're using a light band, you may have to choke up quite a bit on the band here. The closer that your legs are in towards your tummy, then of course you have less resistance on the band. All right, now let's start alternating those single arm rows with a twist. Exhale, pull, inhale, center, and pull, and pull, pull, and pull. So we're gonna maintain that flexion, lots of abs working here. Now turn the palms over and we've got a high row motion. That is a heavy band here for me. So I'm closing my feet a little bit more narrow and we're still drawing those arms back, elbows wide. Try to stabilize through the trunk of the body here. Exhale, pull, inhale, center. Now one side, pulse, pulse, pulse. Keep it curled at the tail and level elbow with shoulder. Good, so just turn and turn, and each time we're using those shoulders, we're using the lats, and then coming up. All right, now we're gonna transition into a tricep exercise, so kind of figure out where that needs to be so you're able to get your arm fully extended. So I'm gonna reach one arm. Now we got this asymmetric thing happening here in the obliques, and now we're adding that tricep work. 6, 7, and now straight back and straight back. So you're feeling this equal parts obliques, equal parts triceps and lats. 5, 6, 7, and that's it. All right, make the change. So I've got it behind a foot, and then the free foot, the band is behind it as well. And we are gonna find that spot there where we are able to bend the elbow and then extend it. So meanwhile, let's keep the wrist neutral. One more thing to think about. So nice, strong forearms. Good. And then on 8, we're gonna straight back and straight back. So everything else is stable. Non-moving body parts are a big part of the effort here. So keep everything steady. All right, and then we're gonna just go ahead and put that band aside. So now, dun dun dun, we're gonna do the tiny band. It is, this one is an extra strength, but you can use any resistance you like. We're gonna bring that small loop band above the knees and let's do some glutes. So come on down onto your backs. We are going to leave the upper body resting down. Scooch those feet in close to your hips and we are just clamming. So feet stay together and we are opening the knees wide and middle. Wide and middle. So while this isn't impossible, it is certainly warming the hip joint. We're going to be doing a lot of glute meads today, and this is just the start. So bridge up, and then we're just tucking. So it's not that I'm just lifting and lowering my back. I'm trying to actively tuck the tail. Remember that theme of lumbar mobilization. That's what we are doing here. Keeping the tuck and then getting that clam and wide and wide. Good, so we're getting about 8 to 10 repetitions and then we're coming down. All right, legs up, tabletop, but the knees are apart here. And let's just get some crunches. So we're just using those abductors to keep a little resistance on the band. My knees and feet are about a foot apart here, just lots of resistance on that band. And then let's take it forward and let's just play with it. So if we just open and close the legs 8 to 10 times, we'll see how that feels. That might be enough resistance, and if that's the case, you're gonna keep it around the knees. If you're ready for more, let's get the band by the ankle and let's go. Send the hands behind the head. We go out with the legs and table. Stretch them out wide and then come back in. Keep that lumbar spine imprinted so that your low back feels safe and supported as you reach the legs out. I'm maintaining a dorsiflexion of the feet there, and you can also do it with pointing, and notice then there's a change. We dorsiflex in, point, and wide. So all of that just encourages the neuromuscular system to stay connected. Do whatever you want with your feet. Okay, here we go. Point, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 3, 4, 10. Breathe in and breathe out. 20. This is a fancy way to do hundreds. Exhale, 3, 4, 30. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the lips. In, 2, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4. Half, 2, 4, 5. Exhale, 3, 4, 6. One hand behind the head if you need it. Exhale, 3, 4, 72, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 3, 4, 8, 2, 4, 5. Exhale, 3, 4. Last 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 100. And then tuck it all back in. All right, get rid of that from being around the ankles. Let's bring it back up to the knees, and on our sides, we will go here for more traditional clam. So stack the shoulders, ribs, and hips. You can support the head. Feet are together. Let's lift the knee. And we lift on the exhale, and lift, and lift, and lift. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then we're going to go knee to knee, toe to toe, knee, toe. So we're getting the internal and external rotation at the hip, aka glutes and booty. And lift and knees and toes, knees and toes. All right, very nice. Now thigh to thigh, making sure the top leg is stacked on the top, and we lift and lower. I'm keeping a dorsiflexion here. It's important for you to make sure that your leg is neutral. Don't let your toes point up. Is burning. 8, and little pulse. 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then let the leg slide a little bit in front, and then just enjoy a spine rotation. We'll stretch all over. Okie dokie, so we're gonna just flip to the other side here. All right, so feet together, knees together, shoulders, ribs, and hips as stacked, and we begin. And we lift, and we lower, and we lift, and we lower. Just keep the rest of your body nice and simple. 7, and then 8, and then we go to the opposite. So we go knee to knee, and then toe to toe, knees and toes. So while the pelvis is steady, internal rotation and then external rotation is really great for the mobilization that we've been talking about here of the pelvis at the femur here. 6, 7, and then 8, long leg, flex the foot and lift. It's important to keep the thighs above the thighs here. 7, and we hold it on 8, and then we're gonna do our little pulses. Lift. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and then little leg go in the front, and then enjoy your twist. I love how, as I go through my workouts here, especially with these Pilates-based moves, everything just sort of, I get this beautiful adjustment all over my back as I go. So hopefully you are getting that too. All right, so from here, we're gonna go into a forearm plank position. So shoulders are right over those elbows. Okay, and then we're gonna just lift and lower. So, yep, up and then wide, and then up and then wide. So we're really keeping that foot in dorsiflexion. This is just adding insult to injury here as far as that hip goes. It should be warm from all the clams that we've done thus far. Out and up and out and up, making sure the rest of the body is stable and strong. All right, other up and out, up and out. That second leg always hurts more than the first because it was already working here. Lift and lower, lift and lower. So making sure that your back is strong and stable as your leg travels up. No arching and moving in the back, please. Okay, and then step those feetsies back. Find yourself in a plank. All right, step your foot and then together, wide, together, right and left, and right and left. So planks are one of the very best things that you can possibly do. If this is not available to you, you can certainly do this exercise on the front of the thighs. Just pretend that your legs end at the knees and you just have a shoulder lever, which makes that easier. And wide together, keep the hips still. All right, come on down, enjoy that swan, pressing into the floor with the hands, shoulders off those ears. And then just take an inhale breath and stretch, and then lower down. Let's bring those heels together, and we're just gonna finish with some squeezes here. Lift and lower. The pelvis must press into the ground, anchor the hip bones and the pubic bone, and we're just driving up through those feet. All right, grab the foot and rest the head. Let's just keep that pelvis pushing down so we really open up through the hip flexor and the quadricep here. And we're just letting that release. Switching feet, of course. Those hip flexors are some of the tightest muscles on most people from the amount of sitting that the average person does. Don't skimp on this stretch. It is so good for your hip flexor. Drive the pelvis into the floor, please. Okay, and then plank up, and then shift into that little bit of a down dog, and let's just pedal those feet, just feeling that stretch all through the back of the leg here. And then let's come on down and lift one arm, thread the needle, lay the head and the shoulder down. So great across the upper back and shoulders to get this stretch. And then of course we will do the opposite, reach up, and then we're gonna thread the needle, lay the head and shoulder down. If you don't make it all the way down, you can rest your head on a pillow, of course. All right, and you have made it. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope your body feels great. If you liked our workout today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Leave us a comment and let us know what you would see next. Thanks so much. Have a great day.